Okay. Very good. So here we are. So guys, we're recording. It's so great to see you all. This is the very first time that three of our organizations get together. I personally have known both of you for a few years, and through the work that we do at ParaPride, we have done some collaborations or partnerships with you both individually, but this is the very first time that the three of us get together in a room for this roundtable discussion today. I am from ParaPride, and my name is Daniele Lul. For the people who are following from the UK, some of them may know me already. I am the Community Engagement Director and a co-founder of ParaPride. ParaPride is an empowerment charity, and we advocate for the visibility, education, and awareness of disabled LGBTQ+ people. We are a fairly young organization, and we are based in the UK. And I would say that our charity values really sit at the core of our of what we do within ParaPride. And just briefly, the need for an organization like ParaPride, for me personally, as a disabled person, came with my experience of becoming disabled fairly recently, and experiencing exclusion that came with my experience of becoming disabled. So I really felt that there was a need to address the lack of inclusion for disabled people, and also the lack of accessibility within LGBTQ+ spaces. And also I felt that there was a need to talk about and raise awareness about promoting body positivity and being able to celebrate that. Like I mentioned, I am a disabled gay man. I am originally from Italy. My ethnic background is from Eritrea, so I'm a person of color. Yeah, you know, I don't want to keep talking too much, so I will give a little bit of time for Jonathan to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more about you and your organization.
Thanks, Daniele. Hi, everyone. My name is Jonathan. I'm one of the founders of I AM Intersectionalities and more, and I'm also the president now. We have something connection with ParaPride. I mean, we work also about queer disabilities, disability topics, but we also work with LGBTI migrants and senior people. So LGBTI senior people that have more than 65 years. And generally, we work on intersectionality. For Italy, these kind of topics are not so many agendas, just for some organization, and our organization is one of these. As I told you before, we are an Italian organization. We are based in Bologna, and we are very happy to collaborate with you and also with Aaditya for this first interview of this new project that we are doing together now. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, Jonathan. So Aaditya, you are a very special guest of honor today from Rainbow Disability Nepal. So why don't we start, you know, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself, your role within the organization, and about RDN itself, and how it came about and how long you've been working?
Yes. Namaste, everyone, and hi to everyone. So I'm Aaditya Rai, and I'm a founder of Rainbow Disability Nepal. And also, I identify as gender fluid person. And what else is there? You can call me anything by my name, by short form Addy, he, him, she, anything. And so my pronouns are that. And also, I'm happy to meet with Jonathan and Danielle from here. And also, it's my first international collaboration between three organizations, very different organizations, very unique organizations that we are collaborating. And while talking about RDNs, you know, in Nepal, I was the first person to open out as gay men and with a disability. So raising up in this narrow mindsets of country, I faced so much challenges and difficulties. While working even in the NGO for 11 years, I was like bit of isolated, bit of discriminated. I was never been like include or in inclusion perspective or in addressing. I was never there. I was like always back. So while studying in bachelor last year, I thought of there was a course called organizations. So that's how I tend to know about how the organizations functions, how the organizations are established, how the social work is done. So after reading the subject, I thought of why not to be extra, to be like visibly seen my issues, my challenge, my story to share with among peoples. That would be great. And while every detailed parts of like from name of Rainbow Disability Nepal, the logo, every detail part of the organizations, I worked alone by myself. So in 2022, I was able to register as first and only one organization in Nepal working for queer disability rights. So I use queer disability rights to identify us, and so we identify as LGBTI plus disability. So we belong to both the heterosexual disability and LGBTI disabilities. LGBTI community. So that's what my concept was, and now the organizations we just celebrated RDN anniversary. It's been 2 years. It was registered in 11 November 2022, and yeah, there are like lots of challenge in inclusion and also acceptance. For the queer disability, I noticed one thing is it's very difficult. There is no acceptance at all from our own community member. I have fought with our own leaders, LGBTI leaders and disability leaders many times. It's been 2 years I have registered the organization, but I'm very well known amongst our LGBTI community and our disability leaders. Okay, but they have never called me or they never invite me in their any workshop or activities of their organizations. For me right now, it's like very difficult challenges that I'm going through, because why I'm fighting to be accepted from my own leaders. I'm not fighting from society or the government, but I'm only fighting by my own fighting towards my leaders to they need to accept us and my community very well, because we are all same. We might identify as LGBTI or heterosexual disability or queer disability, but our main issues are like acceptance and inclusion by the society people or within the community. So while it comes within the community, there is, I'm openly saying that there is no acceptance and inclusion by amongst our own society people. So these are the challenges that I'm going through, and every day I'm like doing advocacy amongst own groups. Before and beside this, also I just lately got international award by UNDP. They have given me a hero award, and also the other award is last time I went to Bangkok to receive a award that was Social Justice Hero Award, and I can say that this was the only first time ever I was socially justified and justice by the award. Because before this, if you read my story, I'm an orphan guy as well. So being orphan, having no documents, proper documents, it was very challenging for me. There are like so much hurdles and sprawling going on into myself. So I have faced a double and triple discrimination. So because of the stories, I was never been like socially justice in Nepal. So however, my activism, my advocacy have brought an international recognition for me. So I'm happy for that, and I'm very much thankful to this organization, APCOM, and the UNDP for giving me a recognition, a great recognition among. It's a world. So kind of getting these recognitions, I have got the opportunity to express my feelings now. So I feel happy. So this is my story. Yes.
Thanks,
Amazing.
Aditya. Before to start with the first question, I think it's right if I do coming out too, because you did it. So I think it is a political act and I have to do that. So I'm a gay man too. In this moment, I don't have any disability and my pronoun is a masculine one. Aditya, I start with the first question. So I think that most of the people that probably will see, will watch also this interview, probably they don't know anything about Nepal, or they have just some information about your country, reading something online, or just viewing some video on some platforms. So the first question is about what intersectionality means to you, and how to be a person with two vulnerabilities is in your country. I mean, before of that, you can say something also about the situation of LGBTI people in your country and about the situation of people that live with a disability in Nepal. And if you can connect this also with what what intersectionality means for you, and how is to live with the double vulnerability in your country.
Thank you, Jonathan, for the questions. And my intersectionality identity is like I have multiple identities. Like if you see, I'm an orphan guy, I'm an orphan child, especially I was double orphan because I never had my parents. I was raised in orphanage. So raising in orphanage, having no family background, no any documents, and also I belong to caste indigenous caste, and also I'm a gay man. You can see gender fluid man, and also a disabled persons. So belonging and having this multiple, uh, identities makes me double and triple vulnerable amongst all the vulnerability community. So raising up and born, like growing up in country like Nepal is very difficult because the stereotype of people here are like they do not know this intersectional how we identify ourselves, and also seeing the scenario of Nepal is like we are not fully developed. Our education, our background of educations, our background of development, our nation is not that much developed. However, looking this gap between like late 2000s and now, it's totally different, but still the challenges and the I could say like time are like same, because our community peoples are not so much well educated. They are not even well oriented about human rights and perspective of SDGs, SRSR. So looking back to all the other developed countries, and Nepal is a bit low country, and raising up, being in the middle of this country for youths like me is so difficult. You can't imagine the life that we go through. So yes, and beside that, the situation now of LGBTI community is so much vast different comparatively before, because they have now the rights. We in Nepal, you can get married, you can do whatever you like. It is not legalized, but at least you can be living with your partners. You can find a partners. You can live together, and also you have the article. How to say, the government of Nepal have addressed the issues and addressed the laws for the LGBTI community. Okay, so it's kind of very much flexible for the LGBTI community, but there are like incidents and there are like challenges that we go through being LGBTI community as well. So, and talking about the disability community, there are like 50 more than 50s policies and laws and everything. They have the rights, they have every kinds of um, laws and policy the government have addressed it, but still there needs the improvement. But when it comes to intersectionality, identifying different persons and having intersectional identity and living uh, by yourself, it is difficult because you have to face more and double challenge between your own community and society and the government. And for just an example, take yourself being a disabled and not having any document. Either you are not called national citizens or you are nobody. Otherwise, and also the other thing is, if you don't have good quality of education, you are nothing. Okay, so for me, it's kind of country like Nepal is very, how to say, very much flexible, but the situation is like the leaders and uh, the leader who takes the roles in providing the opportunities and the leader who makes the laws are like not addressing the issues of other community, not giving the chance for the other community people to come forward. That's what I have seen. And also the queer community context of queer disability community, it's very challenging. And if you also see everywhere in the world, you can see like thousands, more than thousands disability organizations have established. In Nepal, if you see the female women's organization, we have more than thousands women's organizations, but still they are fighting for their rights. If you see disability perspective, they have thousands and thousands of more than thousands disability organizations, but still they are fighting for their rights. Though they have so many rights comparatively other peoples, but still they are fighting. So when it comes to like more marginalized and more vulnerable groups like us, we are not even like included in the marginalized um, word word. So that's what our leader says. So these are the scenario of my country and my advocacy. Yes.
Thank you so much. That was very interesting what you shared, and I think as I was listening to you, I can today's occasion is particularly special because the three of us are coming together. To my knowledge, this is the very first time that we have a international roundtable, specifically focusing on these intersections. And also because the three of us work in very similar areas, raising awareness about inclusion for the disabled and queer communities and other intersections as well. But also there is a clear need to to address these issues, and because this is impacting different communities around the world and is marginalizing entire communities around the world. So it's really it makes it even more excuse me, important to have these conversations. So
Yes.
the next question that I have, Aditya. Now, you gave a really great answer, and you touched on some of the things that that I was planning already to to ask you. But thinking about the intersecting identities, thanks for sharing what you said. But more specifically, also thinking about not only yourself, but the community as a whole, because I know that you work personally with many people that have different intersections, such as the trans community, who probably present a whole different set of issues with the inclusion and stigma and stuff like that. So how do you and how does your community overcome these challenges?
It's kind of, I don't know how to say it, but the challenges that our community are facing is different, and it's like double challenges that our community face every day, because we do have all the different category of weight disabilities. Some have a half spinal disability. He identify as a gay man. Some are trans with hard of hearing, and some are lesbian women who can't speak and who can't hear anything. So we do have kind of different identities with intersectional identity, identifying as identity. So the challenges they are facing is like forceful of marriage for the women, especially in Nepal, and the for the trans is like even once you are disabled and you are like trans, the family do not accept. We have a one case like she doesn't have one ear and the other ear doesn't, she doesn't listen, and she doesn't hear anything. So her family find out and she was kicked out from the house. And now she works in the bus stand as a cleaner. And the wages, the money she on is very low comparatively what our the government have decided. Okay, the what the policy have said. So anyhow, from the RDN, we are providing them the relief package every month. If you check our Facebook also page, we upload our service there as well. So kind of giving a verbal counseling and supporting each other, collaborating in our workshops or the other activities. That's how we are supporting and overcoming with the challenges, because being in the community that automatically helps and share our feelings. So this kind of things that we are doing. Yeah. And also like I would like to join one thing is like say one thing is like last time one of the friend, he's been only like 2 months in our office. Now I have hired him as a staff program assistant, and he have like he's from out of Kathmandu Valley, and he does not speak Nepali language very well, and also he doesn't understand it, and also he have a high spinal and he identify as a gay man. So I gave him shelter in the office. Then after we find a room for him to settle out, and now he's working in the RDN, and so he's learning and he's expressing his feelings. So this is what I'm doing actually. RDN is doing, yeah.
Thank you once again for sharing those, and it makes me realize how similar in a way, you know, the experiences that we have, although we are all so far apart, you know, like geographically. Just quickly, I noticed that Jonathan dropped out of the call. I think he's probably having some connection calls. So we'll just give that a second, and then we'll probably edit that out. But you know, when you were talking, I was thinking about my personal experience. You know, like I mentioned earlier, my ethnicity and my LGBTQ+ are aspects that of my identities that have always been part of my life. You know, since I was born. Even though I may not have been out, you know, they've always been part of me, and I've always been very aware of that. But my disability is acquired, and this means, of course, that I have become disabled later on in life. You know, I'm a double lower leg amputee. Once I became disabled, I knew that it was going to be very challenging, but I was very determined that, you know, I wanted to feel empowered by my difference. And, you know, that was the biggest motivation to overcome my difficulties and my struggles. And of course, it has been a very challenging journey. But, you know, I think it's really important to be reminded how disability is such a broad term. You know, there are so many different types of disabilities. Some are visible, some are non-visible, and some disabilities are clearly, you know, more complex than others. You know, but as a community, we don't want to be seen only because of our disability. You know, we are only disabled because of the barriers in society and because of the lack of understanding from society, and not by our disability ourselves. So yeah, no, I could you know, I could resonate with many of the things that you're saying. Jonathan, I see you're back in the room, so I will let you go ahead and ask the next one.
Yeah, sorry, but I had some problem with my connection. Before to go with the second question, actually, I will put together two questions because I think that they are similar, and we don't want to do the interview so long, but I think that is very important what we are doing today, because actually without visibility it's impossible to have specific services for people that live a queer disability situation. And for example, in Italy, is at the moment we don't have any policy that rules this kind of life, this kind of needs. So it's very important, I think, what we are doing today, and I'm very happy. I want to repeat that because I think that is very, very important. I go with the third question, actually, is about how the others can support the people that live with disability, and also that they are LGBTI, maybe in your case, but generally, I mean, also. And if you think back when you were younger, when in your childhood, how do you think that people, how do you think that also not only people, but also services, organization can help people in childhood that live with disability, but they are also LGBTI? I mean, maybe not also in childhood, but also during teenager period.
Thank you for the questions. Daniel, I think you should, can you repeat again one more time? Because the phone was...
all the question?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, yeah, I put together two questions. One was, how do you think that the other people also inside the LGBTI community, but also people that are not LGBTI, can support people that live with double vulnerabilities or double identities, like people that are queer, but they also live with a disability or more disabilities? And the other question was, actually, if you think back about your teenager period and also about your childhood, how do you think that the organization, services, social services, the institution can help people that live with a disability and they are also LGBTI? Do you think that they can do something for people that live in this condition?
Yes. Thank you. So about helping, how can the other peoples or any other whoever wants to help to our disability or queer persons or queer disabilities? Obviously, it's like the thing is, all you can do is like more like work as humanitarian perspective, rather than being like, okay, I only work for this persons or this community people, that community people. That's the thing. And also the other thing is like, when we take a word, when we use a word, the word must be like you are addressing all the peoples as a perspective of human, not separately to the any community or any other people. So it would be great if those whoever is watching this video, how can you help is like accept us and accept any intersectionality identity persons. You should understand that single person or any other person can identify multiple identities. They have multiple identities, whether because of their caste, whether because of their family background, whether they have disability or not, whether they are from queer community or heterosexual. Even the heterosexual people can have multiple intersectionalities identity. So this is the things that you need to have in your mindsets. And also I think you people should accept very easily whoever comes out in a visibly. So that's what I suggest, and to work collaboratively to any other people's, and just at least you can do is like just to motivate and just to just to listen their voice. That would be the great help for the youth and to anybody else. And the other questions is like, when I was in my orphanage, or when I was in my childhood, I was never like equally treated. I was always been looking very differently by the capable persons. Okay, I was the only person in the orphanage. It was like a jail for me, because why? I was feminine, I was disabled, and I was orphaned. Having this huge intersectional identity, I was like double vulnerable. There was no well-educated persons to teach me about how to deal with these situations, why I was different, why my emotions are different, why I was, not accepted by this the brothers, the sisters, or the hostel wardens here and there. And at that time, I was not able to reach out, or I was not able to speak out. I think the most important role would be the senior people, whoever is looking to their juniors. Your voice does matter, and your voice motivates other people's. So always look and to support, whether you are educated or not. Just say at least a good words. Those who doesn't have anything, that would definitely make. And when I realized one thing is in 2013, when I came out in the media as queer disabled, my orphanage kicked me out, and also the college, the scholarship giving college, they kicked me out. They were the big organizations, right? But instead of accepting me and giving me motivation and being my supporter as a back, they reject me. So I say, like, be well educated and be just give us a space where we can be, whether you like or not. It's not important to hate anybody else. And I see the right now the scenario of organization is like they are very separative. They are very like, okay, we only work for this, we don't work for that. Everybody is saying like, okay, we are working for the only females and this and that, this rights and that rights. It's, I better say, like, it's better to work for the humanitarian perspective rather than working in a single way. And also always use a word that can address everybody. And comparatively in the Nepal organizations, I don't see it very much, how to say, very much good, because it's like always they are like demanding something from someone. And if you see the international organizations, I feel very comfortable working with them. Why? Because they understand how your emotions are, how you are going through. At least they try to feel your emotion. They try to give you a space and a chance and opportunity. But here in the organizations, that's not working here. Yeah, they do not value your emotion. They do not understand anything. That's what I felt from my personal experience and my perspective. While saying this, I'm not trying to address anybody a bad way, or not saying to anybody in a bad perspective, but that's what I felt, that's what I saw, and my experience have given me this kind of, living experience. So I think this is what I can say. Sorry if I dishearten everyone.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your very honest answer and for sharing your experiences and your observations that I'm sure that many other people can relate to. I certainly can relate to a lot of that, and I think that you are right with in saying that listening to other people's experiences, before jumping into anything is a really important and simple step, you know, and it's definitely key, you know, to being open to understanding and communicating to one another. And I think it's really important, you know, to highlight the fact that a lot of the time, particularly in the current, you know, in society, people are so busy all the time, rushing all the time, and you know, whatever kind of like problem or whatever type of identity that doesn't impact you, you know, it's kind of like dismissed as something that is non-existent and therefore not important, you know. And I think it's really important within this whole process for people to, you know, understand and reconnect and rediscover the feelings of empathy, you know, like, and try to understand how others feel, even though you know, their struggles don't impact you. You know, I think it's still important to validate those things, and you know, and like I always say, just be open to ask questions. If you don't know something about anything, you know, just ask questions and don't assume, you know, just be open for a dialogue, pretty much like what we are doing today. So yeah, you know, I'm gonna, all of our works in different ways, we work within activism, you know, we work within raising awareness, so my next question to you is, what does being an activist mean to you, and what can people take from your approach to activism so they to use that in their own lives?
Thank you so much, and this is great questions. So about activism, I never thought, since from childhood, I was, you know, being that kind of vulnerable in the society, and also never getting accepted or never got any love from anyone, and also nobody have, how to say, nobody have treated me as their family members or as a friend. I still don't have any close friend that I can share anything with among anyone. So going through that phase, and I never thought of being an advocate, doing an advocacy for anybody else, but I just wanted to, you know, share my feelings, share my stories among all the human beings that I can. So till the great, in a bachelor degree, while I was studying a social work, I just wanted to, I only had one thought was, I'm a very different, and I have never got social justice from any of my nations or peoples. One day I just wanted to share my feelings, my stories to people, that even a man, you can say, or even a boy, or even a, you know, how to say, a disabled person can have an intersectional identity that can be existed in our within our society. People are living in very crucial and very hard life. I just wanted to share this kind of things. And now, being as a leader in Nepal, as for the queer disability persons, I'm doing advocacy to every day. And activism now is like very challenging for me, I face, because I'm like doing activism within my community and within the government, within our own LGBTI, on our disability leaders, and I have more double and double responsibility to fight with people, not in that action fight, but in the word wise and acceptance wise, inclusion wise. So activism have now, I think, given me a great responsibility and recognition as well for my, how to say, personal life. So it's kind of difficult, and it's kind of, it's a headache sometimes. But now I feel having a my friend and my colleague, you can say like colleague in the staff, it's motivating me to do more. That's, yeah, I think that's the things I can say for now.
Thank you, Aditya.
Thank you.
Actually, I think I repeat thanks again because it's very, very important what you are doing. And also, I think everyone that talks about these kind of topics is doing something very important because we don't have space to speak about these kind of things. Also in our community, I mean, in LGBTI community, often we don't have the space to do that. Many places are not accessible. So we have to do, everyone has to work, but as activists, we have to do that for the people that cannot do that. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm not a person with a disability now, so I cannot speak for people that have this disability, but we can support. So also people that don't have any, any disability can do a small part, but it's important that everyone does something. So I really thank them also to be here with us today. Daniele, so I think that we are almost at the end, right?
Yeah, I think so. I was just thinking it would be good to wrap up today just by, you know, going around and sharing where our organizations can be found, and if there's anything specific that you would like to promote at the moment about your organization. You know, Jonathan, with I AM Intersectionalities, you know, I think that the work that you are doing is amazing. Like, you know, because I'm Italian, even though London has been my home for more than 25 years now. You know, I am Italian. I go to Italy to visit my family regularly. But you know, because I'm a mixed race person, growing up in Italy in a small city like Modena, you know, it always been very challenging because you know, having mixed ethnicity wasn't easy because it's just not something that it was common. Certainly it wasn't back then, and I am a child of the 80s. I was a teenager in the 90s, you know, so hopefully I think that with the work that you're doing, this is where I'm getting at. I think that with the work that you are doing in Bologna, Italy, with I AM Intersectionalities, it's great that there's an organization, there's a group like yours, you know, to raise awareness about intersectionalities and to, you know, to learn more about like different experiences, so I'm really happy that we connected and that we have done some work together. But you know, where can others find your work, and where do you promote your work online?
Yeah, I start saying that we are all volunteers, and actually we started to do this kind of job because we saw that in Italy there was anything for that, or actually there was something that was very brief and then everything stopped. So we started to do something regularly. So yeah, and we work in a national level. We are based in Bologna, but there is almost anything in all the countries. So we try to follow people for free in all the regions. So thank you for your words. You can find us online. I mean, at the moment we are rebuilding our website, so you don't find the website, but you find us on LinkedIn, Instagram. You can also write to intersectionalities more at gmail.com. So if you need something, also if you are abroad, because we work with LGBTI migrants and asylum seekers. So if you are still abroad and you want to know how to move to Italy and what do you find here in Italy for LGBTI migrants and asylum seekers, you can contact us from your country and we try to explain you how to support you here. Yeah, so you can contact us and we will try to do our best.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And Aditya, where can we all find the work that you are doing with RDN? Where are you visible online? And are there any current projects that you would like to share with everyone?
RDN have all the social sites. If you Google it, just Rainbow Disability Nepal, the page will turn up in the Google. And beside that, we do have a YouTube channel and Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And what is that? And the other thing is the websites of RDN is very, very visible in Google. So yes, we do upload all the videos and activities, and we just today update our websites. So it's better for you to check once and we are very open. RDN is very open to collaborate with any other organizations that wants to work with different intersectional identities and the new agenda in their work field. We are very open. Please, you are welcome. And also, I think that's all. Yes.
Thank you so much, Aaditya. Hopefully this, this opportunity will open up more opportunities and you will hear from other people. And same to you, Jonathan. I should have mentioned this before, but today is a very special day because we are recording this event on International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Which made this this occasion even more meaningful for all of us. But this pretty much concludes this event. We will definitely, I really enjoyed it, and from all the things that I've been hearing, I'm pretty sure that we will come together at some point in the new year to do more international collaborative experiences like this one, and share more. There are so many things that we can talk about, but I think for today it's been great what we touched on. So yeah, ParaPride as well. You can find ParaPride on all social media platforms. We also have a new website which we are very proud of because we managed to make it more accessible and to add more accessibility widgets, as well as like BSL videos interpretations as well. Yeah, like Aaditya said, for anyone else, regardless of where you are based in the world, feel free to reach out to ParaPride. We'd love to hear from you and the experiences of your communities globally. It would be really great to hear from you. So yeah, thank you very much to all of you. I'm going to stop recording now.
Thank you, Daniele. Thank you, Aaditya. And I hope to see you somewhere live.
Yeah.